Creators and worlds are scaling faster and building bigger than ever. But the story doesn't stop there. VR development itself is on a journey, from those very first steps to getting apps ready for launch. To dig into what that looks like, I'm joined by Maeva Sponbergs, Chief Marketing Officer and Head of Publishing at Beyond Frames Entertainment. Maeva, you've seen how developers approach both social spaces like Worlds and fully immersive VR. What stands out to you about the opportunities that open up when creators make that jump?
I think the rapid development we've seen on Store in the past 18 months have really put the power back into the hands of the developers and creators. We've never had this many tools to kind of like control our release, our deployment, our testing, and different ways to reach players. You can now launch your app, it's all in your own hands, and you can monetize the way that you need to.
Fantastic. Over at Beyond Frames, you work with teams at all stages. So what's the most important piece of advice you're going to give to a creator who's just beginning their VR journey?
I think the thing that we see missing sometimes in the mix is really defining your North Star for the title. Are you going for revenue the fastest? Are you there as a creative outlet to tell a story? Or are you simply there to test a specific tech? So defining that early is super important. But then I think the second part of it is understanding if you have a product market fit. And then especially if you're going for the revenue track where you really need to understand if you have an audience.
Right. And when you're chasing something that you love, it's sometimes hard to see where that product market fit comes together. Building for VR can be exhilarating, it can be unpredictable. So for somebody starting out or for newer developers, what's the biggest surprises you've seen them run into that sort of makes life a little difficult?
I think designing something on paper, and especially if you come from PC and console, flat designs,
Sure.
Is very different from developing for immersive experiences. Because what something feels like and how you experience it, it's so vastly different in headset. So that is my one thing to make sure that people consider.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Very excellent. What is your looking at the community, sort of looking outward from developers? What have you learned from the player community, especially more recently, that shows how VR can connect people in a unique way, a way you can't get anywhere else?
I think embodiment, especially of your avatar, irrespective of what that looks like, or if you're in a world or in an app, that embodiment is just so special, especially when you're communicating with other people. You can show body language, you can travel together to different places. Hopefully we'll have more eye-tracking technologies coming in the future so we can show facial expressions. And that really bridges the gap between a video call and actually being in a place together. And who doesn't want to go slay dragons with your friends? That's the most fun.
Absolutely. If you could point developers towards one piece of VR, whether it be what we're doing with the hardware, a design, type of experience, even just a mindset, what's the opportunity you want developers to jump on?
I think in terms of mindset, what really is important right now is to stay scrappy, iterate, and then just to call back to, define your North Star and really make sure you have a product market fit.
Fantastic. Thank you, Maeva. VR is not just about playing the same games you'd find on a flat screen. It's about inventing new mechanics and new ways to play on hardware that puts you inside the experience like nothing else can. And coming up, our developer sessions, we'll dive into the tools that make all of that possible. And who knows, you might just see a familiar face.